So this is the kind of flight stick I use. It's just a stick, but it twists to control the rudder, and this little controller on the bottom controls the throttle. Very basic. They don't really make them like this anymore, but it was good for 20 years ago. So this is the Piper Cherokee. It's a little different than what I'm used to, because I believe this is a newer variant. When you press the brakes, well, the handbrake is only used for parking brakes. If I just apply the brakes, it's actually got brakes in the toes of the rudder pedal. Sometimes I gotta make this thing disappear so I can see everything. So when I control the throttle on my stick, you can see the throttle go up and down. Turn the battery on. Turn the fuel on. This is where this one starts. Turn all this on. Parking brake is off. Parking brake is on. In this game, Keystone doesn't have ADAS or AWAS, and cars just kind of bolt out onto the taxiway. I think that's runway 23 down this way. The cars just kind of go wherever. They don't do anything if you run into them. So in real life, this would be taxiway alpha. And those would be the T hangers. The reason I want to use runway 23 is I know in real life that has left traffic, whereas 5 and 29er have right traffic, and in this game it's all using left traffic. So where's the hold short line? There's no hold short line. Anyway, the run-up procedure's here, so take it up to 1500. No, let's go to 2000. And you can do everything just like on the real aircraft. So left magneto, you see RPM drop. Right, you see RPM drop. And then carb heat over here. It's hard to grab. You gotta get your mouse in just the right position. Turn that on. See the RPMs drop a bit. Take it down to idle. Turn off carb heat. So I'm gonna taxi onto the runway before I make an announcement, because otherwise it might not assign me the runway that I want. Try to get on the center line. Got the brake set. So here I can announce it.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey, taking off runway 2 tree left touch and go.
Take the parking brake off, full throttle. So it's trying to pull a bit to the left. The airspeed indicator on this is in knots, not miles per hour. So there I can just pop off the ground. 88 miles per hour is equal to about 75 knots, so that's what I'm going to try to maintain for climb.
Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on upwind runway 2 tree.
At about 700 feet, so I can turn.
Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on downwind runway 2 tree. For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on crosswind runway 2 tree.
I'm up at about 1200. Bring the speed, engine speed down. Trying to fly at about 50 degrees. Now it's downwind.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on downwind runway 2 tree.
Somebody's flying in the restricted area. Out the window at the runway. Alright, so 1 notch of flaps. Drop the engine speed. I'm high. One more notch of flaps.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November Niner 08 Whiskey is on base runway 23. For 2 Juliet traffic Piper, November Niner 08 Whiskey is on final runway 23 touch and go left traffic.
I'm low. Raising flaps one notch. Now I'm high. Lowering flaps one notch. Flare. Flaps up, full throttle, pop off the ground, climb,
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November Niner 08 Whiskey is on upwind runway 23.
feet. Now it's crosswind.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November Niner 08 Whiskey is on crosswind runway 23.
Turn downwind.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 908 Whiskey is on downwind runway 23.
One notch of flaps. Speed is high. Second notch of flaps. It's base.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 908 Whiskey is on base runway 23.
I'm low.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 908 Whiskey is on final runway 23 touch and go left traffic.
Flaps up. Full throttle.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 908 Whiskey is on upwind runway 23. 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on crosswind runway 2 tree. For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on downwind runway 2 tree.
One notch of flaps. Probably about where I need to be.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on base runway 2 tree.
To turn final. Second notch of flaps.
For 2 Juliet traffic Piper November 9er 08 Whiskey is on final runway 2 tree touch and go left traffic.
Apply brakes. Take the taxiway off. It's asking me to refuel.